Hey there, welcome to today's video. Going to get straight into the details today. Two of my favorite reporting features are returning to Facebook's Ads Manager after being unceremoniously dumped following the iOS 14 events of 2021. Let's get into these. The first of these is, one of the big issues that we had was the removal of 28-day click attribution. Okay, let me explain what attribution means in the world of advertising, because it's really, really important to understanding the success of your ad campaigns. When you're showing an ad to an audience, a conversion, let's say you're showing ads to generate sales. Okay, a conversion, i.e. a sale, is attributed to that ad depending on the attribution window that you have chosen and when the conversion event takes place. What do I mean? Let's break it down further. If you set up your ads and they are optimized with a 7-day attribution window, 7-day click for argument's sake, if somebody clicks on that ad and then within 7 days they purchase, then that conversion, that purchase will be attributed to that ad and it will be reported. Therefore, you can look at Ads Manager and look at the reporting data, and I'm going to show you some of this in a second. So you've got some real examples to work with. You can look at your data and say, brilliant, that ad has generated a sale. Now, with the 28-day click attribution setting going away, for a lot of people, especially in the audience that I work with, coaches, consultants, and course creators, many of whom have higher ticket products. What does that mean? It means that you might have a product that's £5,000, $10,000, whatever currency you're in, but higher ticket, higher cost. And what that means is that when people are seeing your ads, that doesn't mean that they're going to be ready to buy at that particular point in time. If I need to spend £10,000 on a training program, I'm going to have to go away and think about that. I might have to speak to, I may have to get finance for that. I might need to speak to my wife, or, I'm certainly, most people are not usually in a position to say £10,000, yes, instantly, I'm going to spend it. It happens, but it doesn't happen all of the time. So if the removal of the 28-day attribution window meant that for those higher ticket sales that maybe it might have taken longer than 7 days, which was the next longest attribution window available, if it took longer than 7 days, then that sale would not be attributed to the ad. And you wouldn't therefore in Ads Manager be able to determine whether or not that ad was delivering sales for you. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to show you some examples in a second. So attribution is crucial because it helps you to understand which ads are impacting conversions, and then you can optimize your campaigns, especially if you have an evergreen funnel that's running. So when you have an evergreen funnel running, it means that your traffic is coming into it continuously. It's converting sales, if it's doing well, continuously. And then if you've got different components of that campaign that you're testing, like different ads, different audiences, once you start to see which ones are driving the conversions, you can turn off the ones that aren't performing and repurpose the budget from those poor performers into the one that is performing well. That's optimization. That's how you improve the performance of your ads and get better results, right? Focus on the winners. So attribution is set inside of Ads Manager at the ad set level, and the current default setting is 7-day click or 1-day view, which I just described. So let me share my screen. Just need to now find that window, and I'm actually going to go, I'm in here. Okay, so if we go into this new sales campaign that I've created, we're now in the ad set level. So if I click edit, this is a conversions campaign, a conversion objective campaign optimized for conversions on a website. And if I scroll down to the bottom, there's no other data in here. This hasn't been set up as a proper campaign, but you can see when you click on show more options at the bottom, you can see the attribution setting here. Okay, so the default is 7 days after clicking or 1 day after viewing, often slightly shortened to 7-day click, 1-day view. Now you can change that. You can change it to 1-day click or view, or you can just change it to 1-day click or 7-day click. So why might you want to change that? Well, Facebook's algorithm is going to be part of, because this comes under the optimization section of the ad set level. So what Facebook's going to do is it's going to show your ads to people that are most likely to take or to meet your conversion objective. So this is conversions on a website. So it's going to show your ad to people that are most likely to do that within a 7-day click window or a 1-day view window. If you've got a product like a lead magnet, for example, so you're just trying to generate leads, that generally doesn't take a lot of time for people to have to consider. They're going to get offered the lead magnet. It's a free piece of content. They've just got to give you their name and email. They don't normally need to go away and think about it. So what you can do is you might want to optimize that for 1-day click or view. And that might give you better results. And this is something that you can test. Okay. So attribution has an impact in 2 important areas. Okay. So the first is that it determines who your ads are shown to and when. So if you've got that 7-day click, 1-day view selected, then Facebook's going to show your ads to people at times when they're likely to convert within that window, or within one of those windows. A 7-day click window, so they click and then convert within 7 days, or they view the ad, which means they don't need to click, they just see it as an impression, and then they convert within 1 day. That's based on their profile behavior. So Facebook knows how the users interact on the platform, and it's going to show your ad to people that are most likely to convert. And then it also, of course, impacts the conversions that are in Ads Manager, as I described earlier. Now, as I said, before iOS 14, the maximum window for attribution was 28 days. It's now, or up until now, it's 7 days. So that meant that you had this bigger window to track your conversions through. And that works brilliantly, as I said, for high ticket offers. Previously, Ads Manager gave you the ability to compare attribution windows, which is so cool. I'll show you that in a second. So this allows you to adapt your reporting further so that you can see which ads are converting within which attribution window. And this is a feature that is returning to Ads Manager so that you can compare the attribution windows again. So let me show you how that is done. If we come back to, sorry, we're in Ads Manager. Get rid of that because we don't want to speak to a Meta Marketing Pro. So if you go to the columns here, and then you scroll down, you've got compare attribution settings. So up until recently, you could just do 1-day click, 1-day view, 1-day click, and 7-day click. But now there is also 28-day click as well. So this is fantastic for those of you that have higher ticket offers or just a longer conversion window. You know, whatever it is that you are advertising for, whatever purpose you're advertising for, if it takes longer than 7 days, then you can look at 28-day click. And if I click apply, there's going to be no data in here because this isn't set up yet. But what you can see now is that we have results by attribution setting. So if this was a campaign that was optimized for purchases, you'd be able to see a total number of purchases under multiple, and then you'd be able to see which purchases occurred within the 1-day view window, the 1-day click window, the 7-day click window, and the 28-day click window. And that will allow you to optimize your campaigns more effectively. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. It will help you to understand, should you optimize for 1-day view, 1-day click, 7-day click. There is no option currently to optimize for 28-day click, but I am hoping that with it coming back into the reporting view, that they're going to put it in as an option for us to optimize for at the ad set level. It removes the risk of using 1-day click attribution. Okay, that's often been seen as risky because if that click happens and the conversion takes longer than a day, then you're not going to see the conversion reported in Ads Manager, and that will lead you to believe that the ads aren't as effective. But if you're seeing lots of conversions through that 1-day click window, then you can optimize your ads for that, and they'll get shown to people who are likely to convert during that window, and that can improve your results. Okay, so the second feature that I'm really excited to see returning, it's kind of linked in a way. So maybe I'll call this like the feature 1.5, it's 28-day attribution reporting. Okay, that's what I've just shown you. That is the reporting that we've just seen. You can't optimize for it yet, but I'm hoping that it's going to be available soon. Now, there is a third, or maybe this is number 2, but anyway, there's something else that I'm really excited about. The old swinger that's back in town, that's the return of breakdowns for conversion reporting. So if I come into this window here, you can see this view in Ads Manager. So this is a real-time campaign that's running And this is for my lead magnet. And what I've done to get this view is I am in Ads Manager. I'm at the campaign level, and I've gone into this here, which is condensed down, but this is the breakdown. And what I've done is click that, clicked by delivery, and scroll down to placement. So what you can do here is you can start to break down your reporting into much more granular detail, right? So you can look at it by time, and there are the options there. Delivery is one of my favorites because you can start to look at things like, what am I targeting the right age range? Am I targeting the right gender? So on and so forth. But placement is one of the biggies for me because there are lots of different options inside of placement. And then just to show you also, you can do this by action, which is like the device they've converted on, a lot of different kind of metrics there. If I dive into the ad level, you can go one step further and look at it by dynamic creative element, which are the different elements of your ad. But I want to come back to the campaign level. And what I want to show you here, so this is done by placement. Okay, so by delivery and placement. So what I can see here are all of so this campaign is optimized, as far as I can remember, for automatic placements. So it's showing the ad in all of the places that Facebook makes available. And what I can see, if I scroll back up, I can see firstly the reach, or I could scroll along and look at the impressions, how many impressions Facebook is showing, how many times per placement Facebook is showing this ad. And just come back across here. What we can see is that the Facebook desktop feed, so this is kind of how I'm looking at how I would be looking at Facebook now because I'm talking to my laptop. That's had 33 leads at £2.86 so far. And I think the average cost per lead is shown at the bottom. Or is it at the top? I think it's at the top. Yeah, it's here. So the average cost per lead is £2.95. So I can see that Facebook Stories has had a small number of a small amount of reach, a small number of results, and it's £3.76, so slightly more expensive. Now, what I do know is that this ad is not optimized to run on Facebook Stories. It's just a simple square image that is not optimized for Facebook Stories. So what that could tell me is, okay, I'm getting some leads there. Maybe if I created something that was some creative that was optimized for Stories, then I might get some more leads from there. So that might be something worth looking at. What I can also see is that, you can see the amount spent over here, right? So I can see that Facebook Instant Article, in-stream video, like all of these where there's a dash, we've had no leads, but we've spent a small amount of money. It's not a huge amount of money at all. But what it means is that I could say to myself, right, I'm going to remove these. Instead of using all placements, I'm going to choose my placements and remove the ones that have had no conversions at all. So this is how you can start to optimize your ads to perform better. If I scroll down a little bit, we start getting into Instagram territory here. Okay, so let me just come back up. So I can see that from the Instagram feed, and again, think about this, I'm just using a simple square image. That's optimized for the Instagram feed. I've had 127 leads at £2.82, so that's just under the average. But what I can also see is that Reels, I've had one lead. So my ad has been shown in Reels. I can imagine it wasn't a great user experience, but I still generated one lead, but it cost me £7.67. So then I could start thinking, right, maybe I need to create a type of ad for this lead magnet that is optimized for Reels and try that as a placement on its own. So hopefully this is helping you to see. So this breakdown is incredibly powerful. One of the other ones that I really like to look at is, what one was it? Age. So a lot of people, when they're running ads, they won't narrow down their age bracket. What I can see from this campaign is that I'm not targeting people in this age range, which is why there's no data there. Although 15 pence has been spent, I should speak to Facebook about that. But most of my leads are coming that, the optimum age range is 35 to 44 because that's the lowest cost per lead. Facebook, interestingly, has spent much more money on 45 to 54. It's got me a lot more leads. but they're slightly more expensive. Now, my KPI internally for cost per lead with the audience that I target is £3 per lead. Anything below that is great. Anything above that, £3, I'm not losing any sleep over. But if it's kind of £4, £5 or higher, then I would start to think, maybe that's not the right audience to go for, or the right age range to go for here. Now, you're going to get different, obviously, depending on the breakdown that you're looking at, you're going to get different data. And what I mean by that is that there are lots of factors that go into this cost per lead. Okay, this cost per lead isn't just because these people are 45 to 54. It also depends on the placement that they were on, and it also depends on the device that they were using and stuff like that. But this is a great way to start getting analytical about the data that you are that you have access to inside of Ads Manager. So I am going to come back to StreamYard, and I'm going to come back to you here. Oh, we've had some comments. That's nice. I'm going to come to those in a second. What else did I want to say? I do have some notes here. I guess, look, ultimately, what these changes mean is that you now have access to more information, more data that went away with iOS 14. And it was painful when that happened. There are lots of things that happened with iOS 14 that caused ads managers and agencies like mine headaches. We had to pivot and adjust and look at different solutions to help delivering great service both to myself, because I run ads for myself, but also to our clients. This is only going to help us to get better. So if you've got any questions about this, drop them in the comments. I'm going to come back to the comments because a few people have come through on StreamYard. I'll come back to those now. Wherever you're watching this video, because it's going out in a number of different places, and I'll be happy to answer them. Obviously, people will watch this who are not watching it live. I always go back and check the comments as often as I can. So please do leave any questions in the comments. But I'm going to come back to those now quickly. Hello, Faith. Nice to see you. Hey, Karen. Karen says it's so important to analyze the data objectively like I am, I guess, rather than making sweeping decisions. It is so easy to make sweeping decisions. I talk about this quite a lot, where some people will run ads for a couple of days. Let's say you're running ads to generate leads. I talk about list building as an analogy quite a lot because it's a great great use case for Facebook ads. If you're running a campaign to generate leads, after a couple of days, your cost per lead might be £7 or £8. And I've seen people just go, right, I'm switching the ads off. They're not working. What they're not doing is looking at the data and trying to figure out, well, why? Why is the cost per lead so high? Is it because I'm not targeting the right audience? Is it because I'm using a really low quality image that's not stopping people scrolling through the feed? Is it because my copy isn't compelling enough or easy to understand? What are the reasons why this isn't working? And only by looking at the data can you understand that. And that's what we do constantly, day by day, every single day. Me and my team, more so my team now, are diving into our clients' ads, looking deeply at the data and figuring out where are the trends, where are the patterns, what looks like it's working and what doesn't. Example being, we have a client that's very recently started to run an evergreen funnel for her Facebook ads. So that means that we're running ads that are continuously feeding traffic into a funnel. And the goal of that, the ultimate objective is that we want people to buy a training program that's about $3,000. So we now have the ads manager set up in such a way that we're not just looking at the performance of the ads, but we've got the pixel installed on all of the different pages in the funnel. And we're looking at how far are people going? Where are they getting to? Where are they dropping off? So that we can then start to optimize not just the ad campaign, but the entire funnel. So are people visiting the sales page, but they're not buying? Well, if that's the case, there are some things that you can look at. The data is leading me towards, it's kind of like a bit of a detective trail. And I've got my magnifying glass out and I'm looking at the footprints and they're leading me to the sales page. So then I'm going to start looking at the sales page. Why are people not buying? Is all of the information that people need on there? Does it make sense? Is it clear? Does the sales page congruently link back to what the ads have been saying? All of these things need to be taken into consideration. Advertising is a tricky animal. That's why no ad agency worth their salt will offer you any kind of guarantee, right? It just doesn't happen because there's so many moving parts and the ad agency is normally not in control of all of that. Anyway, I'm digressing slightly. Karen's just told me she is a business analyst and strategist. Brilliant. Love that. I mean, it's a lot of what we do. Probably, it's slightly differently because we're very much focused on advertising, but you're definitely all about the data, right? Karen says, some people would have just switched off the Insta Reels based on that table. But when you ask why, you can learn so much. Exactly. For that campaign, what I could do for that campaign that I showed you, I could go back in and say, right, the good quality conversions are coming from, what was it? I can't remember now. The desktop feed, the Facebook mobile feed, and the Instagram feed, I think. Anyway, I could just turn the rest of them off, but that data is telling me that because I've got some conversions from those stories and reels placements, maybe I set up additional campaigns and just run them to those placements, but with copy and creative that's optimized for those placements, and then see how that performs. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Karen, thank you so much for your interaction today. As I said, if anyone's got any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I will see you again very soon. Until next time, cheers. Bye-bye.